everyone. My name is Felicia Sanchez Garbiso. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm at the Lucero Library, and I am going to share with you another fun story. And, well, actually, a couple. So, the first story is one of my favorites, and it's a little bit of an adaptation from a famous storyteller, or one of my other favorite storytellers. His name is Angel Behill. And this story is called The Lion and the Cricket. So, once there was a very haughty lion. This lion, well, he was the king of the jungle, right? He thought he owned everything, and he walked around like he was the king. He owned the forest, and he just thought everybody had to move aside when he was coming through. So he would wake up in the morning or wake up in the afternoon whenever he decided to wake up. And he would walk about and do whatever he wanted. If he saw some yummy fruit or a yummy piece of meat that somebody else had already caught, he would just go eat it. He didn't ask. He would just eat it. He wouldn't even care what anybody else thought. Wasn't very kind, was it? One day, as he was walking along through the forest, he accidentally stepped on the side of a little leaf, and sitting underneath that little leaf was a little cricket. And as the lion went by, he almost smashed the little cricket. And the little cricket looked up and said, "Hey! Watch where you're going!" Well, no one had ever talked to that lion like that. The lion turned back around and said, "What did you just say to me?" And the cricket said, "Watch where you're going." "Do you know who you're talking to?" said the lion. Yeah, a rude lion," said the little cricket. "But what do you... I can't believe you're talking to me like this," said the lion. "How dare you? I might as well just squish you with my big giant paw." And the cricket said, "I don't think you want to do that. You should be a little bit more considerate of everyone around you, Just because you're giant and big doesn't mean that other people don't live in this forest, other creatures. I may be tiny, but I'm mighty." "Oh, yeah? You're not that mighty. I bet that if all my friends came together and all your friends came together and we had a huge giant battle, we would win." "Oh, really? You would win?" Mm-hmm. "Well, I think you should rethink that because there are a lot more of us little creatures than you even imagine." "Whatever. You should start moving your little sleeping, napping place to somewhere else," said the lion. "Hey, I'm tired of this," said the little cricket. "You know what? That's it. Meet me here tomorrow, and you will lose that battle." "Okay," said the lion. So that evening, the cricket got together with all his friends. What kind of friends do you think crickets have? All the little tiny insects, the centipedes, the spiders, the scorpions, the ants, the bees, the wasps, all these amazing tiny creatures and insects that live in the forest. They all started talking about how they were so tired of these big giant animals, thinking that they just owned the place, not even being considerate of them. They lived there too. And the lion got together with his friends, the coyote and the bears and the big giant creatures that live within the forest. Can you name some? What are some other creatures that live in the forest that are big? Like a deer, and maybe even sometimes big giant owls. Those are pretty huge too. So anyways, all the large creatures got together and they said that they were going to have a giant battle against these little tiny creatures so they would know who's boss. There's a food chain here that they need to pay attention to. But the little tiny creatures thought otherwise. If they were just a little bit more considerate, they all could get along together and everything would be okay. They all need each other, that is kind of important. So the next day, the lion and all his friends came. Okay, the big giant bears and Little coyote, he was running around. Okay, let's go, let's go. I want to fight. Where are these kids? Where are these little guys at? I want to see it. I can't wait to just squish me some ants and little tiny cricket. They are really annoying anyway. Calm down, calm down. We need to be prepared. They are not going to expect to lose this battle. And they all started laughing. But what they didn't realize is that they were already late to the battle because all these little creatures were hiding underneath the rocks and in between the leaves and right underneath little tiny pebbles. And so they heard everything that those big giant creatures were saying. And Coyote was jumping around and he couldn't stay still. All of a sudden he went to sit down. And right as he sat down, he felt something sting his bottom. Ow! He looked, turned around, he looked down. There was a little tiny bee holding up his little stinger and his little shield, ready for battle. He couldn't believe his eyes. What? And that was the signal, because right after that, right out from underneath the giant leaf, with his little sword and his little shield, was the cricket, and he yelled, "Attack!" And all of the wasps and the bees and all the little tiny creatures, they started swarming around and stinging and biting and showing those big giant creatures that they didn't want to mess with them. And well, I don't know, who do you think won the battle? I'll tell you what, it wasn't the giant animals, because even though they're large and big, they were taught a lesson that day, because we need to be gentle creatures, even if we're big. Those little tiny insects, they showed those big giant creatures that they have a place in the forest too. And so next time, watch where you're stepping. That's the story of the lion and the cricket. The next story I have for you is a cut and tell story. And so if you have a piece of paper, you can get one and maybe even try to go along with me. So today, I just took a regular square piece of paper here and I folded it up in a triangle. Okay? And so the story I'm going to tell for you today with this little triangle piece of paper. What color is this? Anyway, I think you all know, right? White. Or blanco. So today, the story I'm going to tell you about is about one of my favorite little girls in the whole wide world. This little girl loves to play out in the snow. And how many of you got to play in the snow this weekend? I did. It was so fun. Even though it was really, really cold, right? So one morning she woke up and she looked outside, just like you guys did this last weekend. And she saw all the snow and she got so excited. She couldn't wait. She said, "Can I go outside? Please, please, I want to go play in the snow." Are you planning to go out in your pajamas? Said her mom. Oh, no. Okay, so then what do you need first? What do we need first if we're going to go outside in the snow? Yep, a hat would be good. So go get your hat. So she ran on over by the door and she got her little hat. So her little hat was a cute little beanie, and on the top it had a little ball. I have a beanie like that. Do you guys have a beanie like that? There was her little beanie, her little hat. So she put her hat on. Okay, I'm ready to go outside. No. What else do you need? Oh, my scarf. My scarf. Yes, your scarf. Okay, so she went and she got her scarf. And she got her whole scarf. And she wrapped it around herself. And I'm going to show you what her little scarf looked like. It was long and pretty. Do you guys ever use scarves? So she got her scarf out and she wrapped it around her neck. And so then she said, "Okay, I'm ready to go outside." No, not ready to go out yet. What else do you need? Boots. Definitely need some snow boots. That way your feet don't get wet. So she got one snow boot on. And then she ran over to her mom and she said, "Okay, I'm ready to go out." Her mom said, "With one snow boot? Don't you need both?" Yes. Okay, so she went and she put her other snow boot on. So she got both snow boots because you cannot go out with just one snow boot. So she put her other snow on. What else does she need? What about her little hands? She needs some mittens, right? So she went and she got her one mitten. But you know what? She can only find one mitten. Mom, I got one mitten on. Is that okay? I can't find the other one. Well, I guess you can't go outside then if you don't have both mittens. You need both mittens. So she only had one mitten. So she went searching through everything, all the shoes by the door, and there it was, right on the floor underneath. So she said, yay, I found my other mitten. So she put her other mitten on. And then, what else do you think she needed? Anything else? She has her, what does she have on so far? She has her hat, her beanie with the big ball on the top. She has her scarf wrapped around her. She has her boots and her mittens. What did she forget? Her jacket! Her coat! The most important thing, right? So she finally goes and puts on her big fluffy jacket. And have you ever had such a big fluffy jacket that you almost feel like you're a marshmallow inside? That's kind of how she felt. She had her big puffy jacket on. And then she said, Mom, I'm finally ready to go. I have my jacket on and I'm ready to go. And she was all bundled up. Her mom said, okay, I'm going to open the door and you go and play outside. And she got so excited. Her mom opened the door and she waddled all the way out like that. And when she walked out onto the porch, she looked up in the sky and guess what? It was snowing again. And she looked up and saw these big, giant snowflakes coming all the way down. And she had lots of fun in the snow. I hope you guys did too. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.